So with the release of the new DJI Mavic 2 Pro and Mavic 2 Zoom, you'd probably think that there is a huge difference between them, considering the Pro version, well, has the word professional in its name, but that's really not the case. How's it going, guys? Billy here with Drone DJ, and today we're going to be comparing the Mavic 2 Pro and Mavic 2 Zoom. So the only difference between these two drones is the camera. The performance is the same, the flight time is the same, the transmission system is the same, it features the same amount of optical avoidance sensors around the body, and even the remote controller is completely identical. With the camera being the biggest difference here, you might be inclined to go for the Mavic 2 Zoom, as it has a lot of the same new software features like hyperlapse, and it also costs $250 less than the Pro version. Now, to really kick things off here, I first want to show you some footage from both drones to set a basis, so I'll be back with you guys after that footage is done playing. So the video from both of these drones looks fantastic, and some people will raise the question, why do I need to spend more money on this better camera when the Zoom's footage still looks so crisp? To which I would respond, the sensor in the Pro is larger, but there are some smaller differences that make its camera fundamentally a better choice for professionals trying to find that perfect blend between the best quality they can possibly shoot and portability. So after we looked at the footage from both of those drones, you might already have a good idea at which you think looks best, or at least if you think the Pro looks any better than the Zoom. But now I want to go over all the important spec differences on paper. First up, sensor size. The 1 by 2/3 inch sensor of the Mavic 2 Zoom is smaller than the 1-inch sensor on the Mavic 2 Pro, bringing you more detailed images and better low light performance. With these sensor sizes, the Zoom shoots 12 megapixel images, while the Pro shoots 20 megapixel images. Further improving nighttime shooting, the Mavic 2 Pro has an ISO range of 100 to 6400 when shooting video and 100 to 12,800 when taking photos. The Zoom, on the other hand, has a range of 100 to 3200, both when shooting video and photos. While the extra ISO range is nice, if you raise the ISO too high, you'll get a ton of grain in the image. Focusing on photos for a second, the Pro's camera is able to take photos in a resolution of 5,472 by 3,648 in 3 different aspect ratios: 4:3, 3:2, and 16:9. With the Zoom, photo sizes are only shot in a resolution of 4,000 by 3,000, and you only have the options of a 4:3 aspect ratio and a 16:9 aspect ratio, so you can't shoot any higher resolution photos, and you also can't fit as much into the frame. This is one thing that drove me crazy about the camera of the original Mavic Pro and the Mavic Air. So those are all the important direct comparisons that I could make between the Pro and Zoom, but now let's go over what makes each of these cameras special. So starting off with the Zoom, we have this camera that can zoom in 2 times optically for lossless quality between 24mm and 48mm. It can even zoom in 4 times, adding a digital zoom on top of that optical zoom when shooting in 1080p, which, let me just say, is absolutely nuts. The image quality is still really good. With the help of the Zoom's camera, we can also take dolly shots where the drone is moving one way and the camera is zooming in or out the opposite way. We can also shoot photos in what's called super res with the help of image stitching, producing a 48 megapixel image. The Mavic 2 Pro's camera, on the other hand, has an adjustable aperture between f2.8 and f11, making it easy to properly expose photos and videos. It also has the ability to shoot in the D-Log M color profile, which includes benefits like HDR video and 10-bit color, so if you're someone that likes grading your video, you'll love playing with that flat footage that comes from this drone. So yeah, that's about all of the differences between the Mavic 2 Pro and the Mavic 2 Zoom's camera. There's not a single difference between them when it comes to looking at the aircraft, but if you're someone that doesn't mind spending a little extra money when purchasing a drone, I'd recommend the Mavic 2 Pro. The zoom feature is great and you can get some really awesome looking shots, but I really don't find myself using it all that much. Now, before I end this video, I quickly want to play this footage back from the Mavic 2 Pro ungraded, it might look bad. I mean, I wouldn't want to upload this straight to YouTube or share it with family, friends through Facebook, but once it's color graded, it turns into something that just can't be shot with the Mavic 2 Zoom. So there we have it, guys. Those are all the differences between the Mavic 2 Pro and the Mavic 2 Zoom. There's not a single difference except for the two cameras, and as you can probably already tell, my favorite is the Mavic 2 Pro, but let me know what you guys think down in the comments if you own either of these drones. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll catch you in the next video.
So you know those tech review videos where you don't really know who the reviewer is, but they happen to be in a very interesting location and they have a cool new piece of gear, so you watch their video? Well, that is Iceland, and this is the new Mavic 2 Pro. Hi everybody, it's Andy from Andy's Travel Blog. Like I said, here in Iceland, I'm on a farm where I stayed in the guest house just north of Seljalandsfoss along the southern coast of Iceland. I've done the entire ring road in 7 days, heading back to Reykjavik tonight, heading back to Texas tomorrow. And this video is really about Iceland, but it's about Iceland via the Mavic 2 Pro. So DJI released two new drones like a week and a half ago, and I ordered the Mavic 2 Pro during the announcement. Luckily, it got to my house like 2 days before I left for Iceland, so I was able to take it on this trip, which is great for everybody, hopefully for you too. But real quick, before I show you some of the footage and show you some of the images, let's talk about the Mavic 2 series. DJI released two drones as part of the Mavic 2 series. The Mavic 2 Zoom, which has a 12 megapixel sensor and can zoom optically 28 millimeters to 48 millimeters in like DSLR equivalents. And they released the Mavic 2 Pro, which cannot zoom, but it has a 20 megapixel sensor similar to the Phantom 4 Pro, which I have and I love. So it has a 20 megapixel 1-inch sensor, so it's a much better image quality for stills. And when it comes to video, this can shoot in 10-bit color. And they have their DJI's new D-Log M format that you can shoot in to capture all of the dynamic range. I don't know how to shoot with that. I don't know how to color grade it, so I just shoot in their normal modes, but maybe someday I'll learn. This is probably a good reason to learn. Now, let me tell you how I've used it and why I wanted the Pro. Like I said before, I'm not much of a drone videographer. I'm not much of an actual videographer either. I'm a pretty good photographer, and I feel like I'm a good drone photographer, and so I wanted image quality. I do use my drone for commercial purposes, helping construction companies keep track of their projects and stuff like that. So I needed good image quality. 12 megapixels wasn't going to cut it. I needed 20. So this drone right here is incredibly portable. It folds down, these propellers fold in, and it actually can fit. So the drone, the battery, 2 extra batteries, and the controller in this little bag, which compared to my head, and I have a big head, you can see it doesn't take up that much space compared to the Phantom 4 Pro, which takes up all the space you have, and then you have to add the batteries, and then you have to add the controller, and before you leave on your trip, half of your rollerboard is just your drone. So I love the portability of this. As you can see, it folds right up, and that's not the fold in one. Make sure I don't break this in my YouTube video, that would be embarrassing. Okay, so it folds right up into this little comfy tiny package, and yeah, it's just wonderful. So let's talk though about Iceland. What have I been doing here? Well, I've been flying a drone around and I've been taking pictures and driving around. I've done like I said, most of the ring road. I started in the Snæfellsnes Peninsula around Kirkjufell, then went up into the West Fjord region, which was wonderful. And then I went across the north over to Akureyri, and then down to the Vestrahorn and to Vik, to the Diamond Beach, and then I'm very close to Seljalandsfoss and heading back to Reykjavik tomorrow. And what I've tried to do is get a good sampling of footage from the drone to share with you. First off, let's look at some pictures. You can see the full versions of these on andystravelblog.com, and you can use the link in the description below to get there. The image quality is excellent. I think it's on par with the Phantom 4 Pro, which I love and I use in commercial work again. So it's very capable. The dynamic range is good. DJI, for whatever reason, is a bit nuclear in the greens, so you really have to work with the greens and the yellows and make sure they're well contained. But you can shoot in RAW, and it's really not that big of a deal. Pretty easy to correct. So here's a couple of images from my experience here in Iceland. Okay, you've seen some images. Now when it comes to video, you have a bunch of different options that you can choose from. You can just choose from normal flying, and then you have the pitch and yaw controls for the gimbal right there on the controller. And so you can do a shot like this, for example, at Aldearfoss. So that's pretty cool, unless it gives you vertigo, in which case I'm sorry. But then you can do shots like active track, which active track is simply where you just point at something, you click something on your phone screen or your tablet screen, and it will track that individual or track that object. I didn't want to just videotape me running around because you've seen me a lot, so I wanted it to track something a little different. It kept up really well with the car. So the drone in its P mode can fly up to 30 miles an hour. So I was able to get a good amount of speed and it kept up with me pretty well. So kudos to DJI on that. Now something new they added for the Mavic 2 models is hyperlapse mode. For those of you who don't know what a hyperlapse is, a time lapse would be like a static camera looking at a scene, taking images at a certain interval, and then combining it all together to make it look like a video. Well, hyperlapse does the same concept, but moving. So it's not like moving on a slider from here to here, it's moving like from over there to over there. So they can do the whole thing in camera now, or in drone, and deliver a 1080p hyperlapse that they make, or you can keep the raw files and do it yourself. So here's an example of a hyperlapse. Okay, it started raining, so I had to cancel that one. So here's another one. Okay, so you take the image quality, you take the active tracking and the new sort of technology they're building into this thing. Before I moved to the debut of my drone film about Iceland, how is it to fly? Yeah, I flew the original Mavic Pro and I didn't really like it compared to my Phantom 4 Pro. It just didn't feel as powerful, as capable. It felt like the wind was flying it as much as I was sometimes. The Mavic 2 Pro changed all that. It flew so well. It was very capable. I felt in control of the drone. Even in some pretty windy conditions, I could take it up to altitude and it was excellent. I mean, this is a really, really seriously capable drone. But I want you to be the judge of that yourself. I would like to debut my drone film about Iceland. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed that. I enjoyed putting it together. Leave me a comment below, let me know what you think. And that's going to wrap up this quick review, these first impressions of the DJI Mavic 2 Pro. I really enjoyed it. I'm glad I spent the money. I'm glad I got the Fly More combo with a little baggie. It was very functional. But yeah, what do you want to know? Leave me some comments. Let me know if you have questions about this. And like I said, the full-size images will be available at andystravelblog.com, and there's a link below. This is Andy from Andy's Travel Blog. We'll see you in the skies. Take care.
Hi, welcome back to Kolsky RC. Today we have the Mavic 2 Pro. So as you've seen, I've been selling some drones off, and one of them I sold off with the Autel Evo. But me being me, wanted a replacement. I've already got the Mavic 2 Zoom, so I bought the Mavic 2 Pro. You can get the cheap these days. This is a brand new sealed one in a box, because there's a rumour of the Mavic 3 coming out. If it will or not, I don't know. So let's just have a quick look inside it. I'm not doing a proper unboxing, and I'm not doing a proper review on this. I'm going to take it out of the box and we're going to go through some key features and why I actually bought it. So here you go, the Mavic 2 Pro. Now I believe that the later ones that came out are in this white colour case, and the later ones are in a dark case. This is black, I believe, anyway. So this is what I get in the box. I only bought this, so I only bought the drone with one battery because I've got the Mavic 2 Zoom, which has 4 batteries with it, and obviously the same battery. So I didn't want to have a crazy amount of batteries, and obviously I picked this up for a reasonable amount of money. Let's see what you get in the box. You get the Zoom, the controller, a box of whatever that is, and I'm guessing it's a charger, so let's just have a look. There's been thousands of unboxings on this, so I'm not really going to do a proper unboxing. I'm just going to show you what you get in the some bits you get. So in here you've got a manual, etc. In this one I believe you've got some cables, and in here you must have the power brick. Yeah, the power brick's in there. Because there was some tops in this box as well, because there doesn't seem to be anywhere else. Yeah, so we got a set of props and 2 spares, which is what you tend to get in the DJI product. So the reason I bought this, so I had the 4K 60 frames per second Evo, and I liked it, but it didn't have a 1-inch sensor. And when I bought the Zoom, I thought I didn't need the 1-inch sensor, but then the more I've watched videos, the more I think I'd like to have the 1-inch sensor. So you're going to see quite a bit of this on the channel, obviously coming up in the next few weeks. One thing I will do is I'll do a couple of comparison videos with the Zoom, because I'm asked from me mainly, but I'll obviously share it with you guys to see what it's like. But yeah, I'm happy with it for the price I paid for it. Apart from that, it's exactly the same as the Zoom, I believe. Oh, actually, so my Zoom when it still does it. My Zoom when I fold it sometimes captures here, and it does exactly the same. So yeah, the only difference is obviously the camera. And the other reason for the big change was obviously OcuSync 2 is so much better than everything else on the market. The range is fantastic. You never lose picture quality. And I bought it to make myself feel better because I couldn't buy the Skydio. So the Skydio obviously looks a great piece of kit, but for me, the more I think about it with the Skydio, the more I think I'd probably never use its capabilities. I want to be able to fly a drone. I don't want drones to follow me, and I don't want drones to do all this other stuff. And will it fly as good as one of these? Well, who knows? That's something we'll find out in time. We can't get it in the UK yet anyway. It's irrelevant, and I'm looking forward to seeing some people's videos. I know Marcus Crawford's ordered one on the Idaho quadcopter. I'm looking forward to seeing his video. I love Marcus's videos. So this is just a brief intro to the Mavic 2 Pro. Like I say, I'm not going to go detailed review on it, it's pointless. You've all seen one, and the reason I bought one is simply for the fact that I wanted to see what the difference was in the Zoom, and I obviously wanted the 1-inch sensor, because the 1-inch sensor is quite a big deal. So, really quick video today. I'll have more videos coming up on this when I go through some more stuff, and I've done some flights with it. I'll do some comparison flights so we can compare the quality on the two. And I've also got lots of footage still from the Evo, even though I no longer own it. I've got a lot of footage from the Evo, so we can also do some comparison, because it's the raw footage I've got, so we can compare this to the Evo's footage. I can go to the same area and fly, etc, etc. So yeah, looking forward to doing that. Hope you guys are. Thanks ever so much for watching. Have a fantastic day.
Thanks for watching my channel. If you like the video, please subscribe and hit the like button, and also hit that notification bell. There's plenty more good stuff coming up. Hi, welcome back to my channel. So today I want to discuss the Mavic Pro. Obviously there's so many videos about the minute for the Mavic Pro 2 that's coming out with a 1-inch sensor, zoom, and all the other bits and bats that it's got. Unless I'm unaware of it, there's no expected price point yet. I'd imagine you're probably going to be looking at £1,200 and £1,500, or they might even make it out for £999 for the base model. But for £900, well, for £1,000 now, well under, you can buy the Fly More combo of this. I think I paid £1,299 for mine when I bought mine, but I've had it a bit now, and it's had a lot of flights. So I've seen it scan yesterday, I think, for £949 for the Fly More combo. So the question is it going to go down anymore? Possibly will. And is there a massive advantage in having the Mavic Pro 2? If you've not got a quad, and you've never had one before, it's a lot of money to spend to get into it. Whereas this is much cheaper than the new one. However, will I buy the new one? No. And here's the reason. The difference in quality that you're going to be able to tell on a video on a 4K screen is not going to be that noticeable to the human eye. You probably will if you zoom into it and you do stuff with it on Photoshop, you'll probably notice a difference. But for the human, I can't really tell the difference between this, the Mavic Air, and the Anafi, really. The Anafi is not as good as this or the Air in video quality, in my opinion. But when you're just watching a video that you've shot on a location, I can't really tell the difference. So it's why I won't buy one. I won't trade this in and buy another one, because it's not going to be that different for me. If something comes out and it's totally different and it's a world-changing drone, yeah, if a Spark comes out, a Spark 2 comes out and they manage to get a 4K camera into that, that would be a different thing. That would be a bit of a game changer for me. But a Mavic Pro 2, to me, isn't enough of a change. It's not something much different than I've already got. It's why I bought the Anafi. The Anafi was something different, totally different type of drone, and that's why I bought that. And it's why I bought this originally when it came out, and I bought the Mavic Air because it was smaller. I bought the Spark because it was smaller. I bought the Phantom 4 because it was better than the Phantom 3, noticeably. But is there going to be that much of a difference between the two drones? I might be proved wrong, but what I'm saying is the prices you can buy these for now are good. When you get the multi-charger, the 2 batteries, the nice case that it comes with, and it is a nice case, and it does fold down small. So mine fits into this. So everything goes into this bag. I've got 2 batteries in here, the charger, the controller, the drone. And a lot of people say, well, the Mavic Air is much smaller, but how small do you need it to be? This is my favourite drone, I'll be honest with you. It's my favourite drone. It still is over the air for 2 reasons. One, this thing's ridiculously good in wind. But the main reason for me is I have the DJI goggles, and it has the OcuSync link. So with the goggles and this, it's completely wireless. I don't need a phone or anything. There's no wire connecting the controller to the goggles. It's just simply put the goggles on and go fly. And I can still have a phone in, which I often do. I often put my phone in here as well as the goggles. So especially when I'm taking off and landing, or just flying a small little distance to get going and find a shot, I just use the phone. I then put the goggles on when I get some range. So I have both connected up. You're obviously going to be able to use the goggles on the two. I'd imagine. I can't see any reason why you wouldn't be able to. And the new one, I believe, are the 1080p image to your phone. But I get 1080p on the goggles anyway through this. If the range is good, I get 1080p, and then it'll drop down to 720 through the goggles if I have an issue. And I believe it's the same on the Crystal Sky. I can't confirm that for definite because I don't own a Crystal Sky. So for the money, I still think this is a viable option. There's a whole lot of stuff coming out, and there'll be drones coming out all the time, and it's the reason that I won't do that. I'm interested in the Altel Evo, but it needs to come out in this country, and I need to see some more videos of it in the UK before I bought one. But again, is it that much different than this? Possibly not. But this, to me, is the standard, and it's obviously why they've made a 2, because this was so popular, and it's such a fantastic drone. I prefer this to the Air, like I've said. I still love my Air because it's very, very portable. I mean, I can just stick that in, sticks in the glove box in my car and probably live there most of the time. But this is a little bit bigger, but this is more wind resistant, and the fact I can use this with the goggles. But when I do that, I have to take the goggles, this and that with me. The Mavic Air is very much more portable, which is why I'd love a Spark 4K if that was to come out. So a Spark 2, in other words. And that may well come out, the Phantom 5 may well come out. And they're more what I'll be looking to go to rather than the Mavic Pro 2. To me, I didn't think there was that much of a need for the Mavic Pro 2 at the minute. They already had a very good selling drone, and to be fair, the only competition they had with themselves, they created the Mavic Air, which became competition to the Pro. The only competition they had with themselves. There's no one else in the market. I've done you've seen my review of the Anafi. If you haven't watched it, it's nowhere near this. I've flown that far more now. I've had far more time with it, and it's just nowhere near. You do not feel as confident flying as I do with any of the DJI range. You can say what you want about the updates and all the rest of the things, but I'd rather have the updates, and I'd rather have the safety aspect put in place, because at least then I know the drone is being done. I know they are looking at updates. In the time I've had the Anafi, there's been one update, and it was minor. There's no major updates. This thing has updates all the time. I prefer it. So I'm going to sound like a DJI fanboy here, but I do like the product. I do like DJI. I think they're fantastic. I think they need some competition, and that'll make them keener on price. But at the minute, they have none. There is no competition for them at the minute, in my opinion. I haven't played with the Altel Evo because I can't get one. And maybe that will be serious. But what I've seen at the minute, so it's got issues with tilting gimbals, the rear sensors don't work as they're supposed to. So I can't really, I'll reserve judgment on that. But the only competition they have is themselves. So I won't be rushing in to buy a Mavic Pro 2. Maybe in a year's time when they drop down in price or I can get one second hand, I might think about it. But at the minute, certainly not. I'll be sticking with what I've got. I just wanted to do a quick video on how good I believe this is. I've never done a video review on this. I didn't do reviews when I first bought this. I just flew it for fun. I've never done one. It's a bit late to do one now, but it is a fantastic drone. Watch all the drones. I haven't seen one really bad video on this. They do exactly what they're supposed to do. It's superb. I can't rave about it enough. It is still my favourite drone. It'll remain my favourite drone until something comes and knocks it out of the water. So, bring on the Spark 2, because that's the thing I really want, a 4K Spark 2 with a 3-axis gimbal. That small. Whether they can do it or not, I don't know. Thanks very much for watching. Hope you have a great day and get plenty of flying done.
Top 10 things to know about the new DJI Mavic 2 Pro. The first thing to know about the DJI Mavic 2 Pro is the headline feature, and that is the 1-inch Hasselblad 20 megapixel sensor. Having a 1-inch sensor in a Mavic-sized drone is the thing that everybody's been dying for, and we now finally have it with the Mavic 2 Pro. Basically, all of the lower-end drones from DJI, the Spark, the Mavic Air, the previous Mavic, all have small sensors, which really simulate the look of an iPhone phone or a mobile device. We now finally have a 1-inch sensor in this camera, meaning the camera is actually like a real camera. The second thing to know about the M2 Pro is the 10-bit 4K recording. That's right, I said it. You can record 10-bit 4K internally on this drone in H.265 codec. You can also shoot in an updated D-Log-M codec, which is super flat, and with that 10-bit recording, we can now finally color correct and get a much cleaner image. Color information is actually more important than resolution in my opinion, and so that's why 10-bit is my favorite new feature. The third thing to know about the DJI Mavic 2 Pro is the omnidirectional obstacle avoidance. Overall, the obstacle avoidance is pretty fantastic, and we put it to the test and it really stood up strong. The fourth thing to know about the DJI Mavic 2 Pro is the upgraded flight time. The blades and the aerodynamics of the M2 Pro have been updated, giving us 19% less drag. Those things actually add to the flight time performance of the Mavic 2 Pro, giving us 31 minutes of flight time compared to 27 minutes of flight time on the Mavic 1 Pro. The fifth thing to know about the DJI Mavic 2 Pro is it has HLG. Not only does it have a super flat D-Log profile for color grading, but it also has this new hybrid log gamma. If you know what you're doing and you know how to use it, it's a great addition to have on this drone. Number 6, we finally get an adjustable aperture range on the Mavic 2 Pro. The previous Mavic 1 was locked at an aperture and you couldn't change anything about it. You had to either use shutter speed or filters to change your exposure. Now with the Mavic 2 Pro, we can actually go from f2.8 to f11 and change our exposure using an aperture like a real camera. It's great to have, and it's a really pro feature on the Mavic 2 Pro. The seventh thing to know about the DJI Mavic 2 Pro is the new OcuSync 2.0. What is OcuSync 2.0, you ask? It's an amazing new upgrade to the downlink system for your video transmission. The radio signals from the transmitter and the drone are switching between 2.4 and 5.8 depending on what is most necessary, and you finally can downlink a 1080p signal up to about 5 miles. I'm happy to say from my experience using this that the downlink is much improved and it just makes flying way safer. The eighth thing to know about the DJI Mavic 2 Pro is the updated Active Track 2.0. It's better. So, the previous Active Track only relied on the image coming off of the camera to track motion. Now with Active Track 2.0, it's mixing both 3D depth data from the obstacle avoidance sensors and 2D image data from the camera, making it more precise. With the previous Active Track, if there was a tree that came into your image, it would completely lose the track and go wonky and just mess up. With the new Active Track 2.0, with the combination of 3D and 2D tracking, it actually stays locked on your subject. The ninth thing to know is we now have the ability to choose 2 different controllers. This one here, which is very similar to the previous Mavic 1 controller, except we now have the ability to take these little thumbsticks on and off, making it much more portable for travel. There is also a controller with a built-in high bright display. DJI boasts the ability to see the display in full daylight, which is a huge upgrade from using a mobile phone. The 10th thing to know about the DJI Mavic 2 Pro is it's bigger, and we all know bigger is better. In all seriousness though, both the DJI Mavic 2 Pro and the Mavic 2 Zoom are bigger than the Mavic 1 Pro. With that size, however, we do get a much better performance, so the increase is negligible. With that 4K at 10-bit, that 1-inch sensor designed by Hasselblad, and the adjustable aperture, I feel like the Mavic 2 Pro is an incredible upgrade from the previous Mavic. However, it does come at a price. The Mavic 2 Pro is more expensive than the Mavic 2 Zoom, so if some of the features like the new Active Track or the obstacle avoidance are more important to you, then consider the Zoom. It's much cheaper than the Pro. So if you want to learn more about the Mavic 2 Zoom, then click on the eye icon above and watch our top 10 video of that drone. If you enjoyed this video, then share it around. We want as many people to know about the Mavic 2 Pro as possible. Once again, I'm Dave Altizer. This is the world's first 1-inch Hasselblad camera. See you next time.